Thank you. It's good to be here this afternoon, and it's also very good to be in person. So my name is Steve Maloney. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Tanzanian Gold Corp, and today we're going to talk about a lot of the exciting things that we have undergoing at our Buckreef gold project in Tanzania, in which I just returned from last week. So with regards to who are we, Tanzanian Gold Corp is located in the Lake Victoria Greenstone Belt. That is a very prospective area in Tanzania. It has major mines in both Barrick and AngloGold Ashanti have major assets there. The Gator Gold Mine is there. It produces 400,000 ounces per year, owned by AngloGold. We can get to our site. It's fully permitted on a special mining license. We drive to our site. The last 10 to 15 kilometers is unpaved. We're hooked up to the national power grid with TANESCO, and we are in a very highly prospective geological setting. Currently, we have measured and indicated resources of around 2 million ounces at 1.77 grams a ton, another 635,000 ounces in the indicated category at 1.11 grams a ton, inferred category. So what is our mine? What is our plan as a company? We're going to expand our Oxide Mine production, which is 10% of the property. Just returned, there's ore going through the mill, our new 360 ton per day facility. That will enable us to produce around 750, 800 ounces a month, which will then fund project expenditures and the value creation on the resource expansion. We have a lot of targets to drill on our property. The resources I mentioned were in the Buckreef main zone. We also have the Anfield zone, which is recently discovered, as well as Buckreef West. So we're very excited for the exploration potential there. And then we have historical resources in Bingwa and Tembo, which we need to drill at as well. Also, 90% of our project or resources on the main zone are in the sulfide. We currently just finished the PQ holes there. They're getting prepared to go off to the various consultants in order to finish off our metallurgical testing. Hopefully we'll get similar results to our preliminary MET study. We're going to focus on resources to reserve conversion in the main zone, and we'll come to market with a sulfide project development plan in the next 12 to 18 months. So really we're going to have our oxide mine production, which is still fairly small, producing 15 to 20,000 ounces once we ramp to 1,000 tons a day, funding the exploration and the sulfide development project. With regards to our oxide mine production project, so like I just mentioned, this is currently ore is running through the mill. If you go to our website, you'll see a new video of our new mill. This was all built and procured in Tanzania. It was built for $1.6 million. Executed in around a 5-month period, so very, very, very quick build, and executed by our staff on site as well as local contractors. We're now going to expand that to 1,000 tons per day, and that will cost us roughly around $4 million, and it will be built in the next 4 to 6 months. Basically, we should have that up and running by Q2, Q3 this year. Targeted to produce on average over a 5-year mine life of 15 to 20,000 ounces, more in the first couple of years. Both these projects are extremely high return projects with quick paybacks. We're estimating in the 360 ton per day project, cash costs will be around $750 to $800 an ounce, which means Buckreef will now be operating cash flow positive after this ramp up period, which we expect to complete in the next couple of weeks. And we're looking very much forward to expanding this to 1,000 tons per day. Like I said, still small mining projects on the oxides, 10% of the resource, but it's going to give us the cash flow from these assets into the value producing activities in our exploration portfolio, as well as the sulfide project development. With regards to resource expansion, the resources I mentioned are in our main zone. When I came on board in December of last year, I was very comfortable with the upside of our main zone. But since then, we've discovered two other shear zones. The main zone is open into the northeast. It's open at depth. It's also open in the south. The pit outline that you see there is from 2018. We need to infill that, get the saddle out of that pit, and make that into a much larger project than the 2018 pre-feasibility study. Right adjacent to the main zone is Buckreef West. We've got good drill holes at surface, as well as down to around 100 meters. So we're looking very much forward to infilling that and getting reserves and resources coming from that to move into a mine plan. And then the Anfield zone. One of the things we did is I brought on a new chief executive officer sorry, not chief executive, but chief operating officer in February. He kicked a geologist out the door, and lo and behold, we discovered a new shear zone 500 meters to the east of our main zone. And when we looked at the artisanal workings, the area is currently flooded, so there's not a lot of artisanals on the site currently. But when looking at the artisanal workings and some of the grab samples that came from the underground portions there, around 30 or 40 meters down, we've gotten grab samples of 40 grams a ton, 28 grams a ton. So we're looking at a zone here that could be very prospective. There's a lot of people say to me, well, Stephen, maybe your main zone might not be your main zone. So we're looking very much forward to, over the next year or so, getting into exploring this a lot more. We currently have 2 drill rigs on site that finished the PQ holes. Now they're ready to turn their attention to exploration. So we're really excited for that. And then just generally, this project has been underinvested in over time, and there's a lot of prospective areas on this property to go and explore. It's a 16 square kilometer property, and we're very much looking forward to exploring the rest of the property. With regards to the sulfide project development, like I mentioned, this is the main zone. There was a 2018 very robust pre-feasibility study that was completed, but a small sort of project in 51,000 ounces. Since then, resources have doubled, and the main zone is still open, and we have Anfield zone. What we plan to do is have a much larger project here envisioned. I would envision somewhere at least 150,000, 200,000 ounces of annual production for 10 plus years. That's where we hope to get to. So we got a lot of work to convert the resources to reserve. Very confident in that. We need to validate our metallurgical results, preliminary ones. In the study that we did in the spring, it was a flotation followed by a regrind and CIL, so very straightforward. There is a probability to just CIL this as well, and we'll figure that out as we get into sulfides in our Oxide Mine plan, because the mills are going to be on site. So we need to validate that. Like I said, there's about 2,500 meters of drill hole core that's been drilled in the last 2 months, and that will go off to the various consultants to confirm the first 1 to 7 years of production on the main zone. We're going to evaluate a phased development. We're in a special mining license, fully permitted. So we have the overarching permit, so we're able to do this in a phased approach, which would be much better from a shareholder dilution perspective and ramp up. And also we have cash flow coming from our Oxide Mine operations that can fill the equity portion of any phased development. As I just mentioned, the resources doubled, so we want increased in the annual production. And there's other things that we need to do from a feasibility study level perspective. We need to get our water balance. Lots of water on site, so not worried about it, but need to do the work. The tailings were coming back non-acid generating in our preliminary study, so there will be the evaluation of dry stack tailings, which will be good from an environmental perspective, and just the other things like species of risk and finalizing the site layout. So looking very much forward to a much larger, much more robust project than was in the market in 2018. With regards to, in summary, Tanzanian Gold, look, we have a substantial permitted resource. As I mentioned, well over 2 million ounces currently. Very confident that that can grow over time. We also have a new rejuvenated management team. I joined December last year. I've switched over the entire management team, put in place the proper skill sets. So looking forward to working with the team to expand 100% Tanzanian local on the ground. We're expanding our low-cost, high-return oxide mine production to fund other value creation activities like exploration, which I just mentioned, the sulfide project development. And of course, I'm a junior mining executive, so I'm undervalued versus peers, so it's always a good time to get into the stock. Over the next 12 months, we'll be bringing online the 1,000 ton per day facility, also putting into the market our 12 to 18 months, a sulfide project development plan. So I'll leave you with this slide here. This is a slide of activity at Buckreef over the last 4 or 5 months. You can see tanks are going up, contract miners are on site, ball mills are there. If you go on our website, you see the ball mill turning. We started blasting some parts of our shear zone down in the corner. You see our Tanzanian team, and we have a robust CSR and ESG program and with various government officials on site. So very exciting things happening at Tanzanian Gold. I'm really excited for where we're going, and look forward to discussing this with investors. Thank you very much. Have a great day.